Peace to the God and peace to you and yours. I am your host, TriGGaTheGod, and this is the Mirror Effect podcast with yours truly. This is episode 10, Sacred Unions and Shadow Wars, which is a very powerful topic that we are going to discuss. And that conversation will consist of marriage, masculinity, and the age of revelation. Peace to you and yours wherever you are in the world, whatever time you're listening to this, morning, day, evening, night. Before we begin, I want to deliberate and read something to y'all before we start this conversation. Once upon a time, a man met a woman, not in a club, not in a trauma bond, but in alignment, in intention, in sacred knowing. He didn't see her as body, he saw her as mirror, a gateway to himself. She didn't see him as a wallet, she saw him as wisdom, a divine house for her softness to rest. They weren't perfect, but they were present. They didn't just build a family, they built a temple, an altar, a covenant with the cosmos. But then the algorithm arrived, the ego evolved, and the lust came dressed in love, and the temple cracked, and we forgot. We forgot that union is not ownership, it's reflection. We forgot that masculinity is not domination, it's divine discipline. And femininity is not submission, it's sacred receptivity. We forgot that love is law. But today, tonight, we remember peace and elevation and divine. Peace and elevation and divine remembrance to the soul families. You are now tuned into the Mirror Effect podcast, the cosmic classroom where the lower self gets exposed and the higher self gets chosen. Like I said earlier, I am your host, your reflection, your reminder, TriGGaTheGod. And tonight's transmission is not just an episode, it's a ceremony. We are diving into the battlefield that lives between love and war, between masculinity and the mirror, between the sacred union and the shadow self. This is Sacred Unions and Shadow Wars. This ain't about rings. This is about roles, spiritual contracts, past life karma, and the war inside the black man's soul. So turn your phones down, turn your spirits up, and walk with me into the temple. The altar in the algorithm. Why love feels lost in the age of hyper choice. Let's build right here. Why is it so hard to love in this age? There's many distractions, social media distractions, all levels and all types of distractions. Not just for the lost, but for the awakened, the conscious, the one doing the inner work. Why does it feel like soulmates are scrolling past each other? That's a question we all need to ask. Why does it feel like soulmates are scrolling past each other? That's a question for you to ask yourself. Simple. Distraction. We are in the age of hyper-choice. You can swipe past 100 bodies before breakfast, but too much choice can kill clarity. Now we confuse lust with love, attention with affection, and chemistry with compatibility. Let me repeat that. We confuse lust with love, attention with affection, and chemistry with compatibility. Compatibility. We've stopped praying before we partner, and now we're performing love for algorithms. And what happens when divine union becomes entertainment? Love becomes transactional, masculinity becomes mimicry, femininity becomes fantasy, the altar becomes a stage, and marriage, marketing. But love, real love, requires stillness, discipline, reflection, and right now, the mirror is clouded. Let me repeat that. Real love requires stillness, discipline, reflection, and patience. Here's some reflection for y'all. Are you choosing partners from alignment or from addiction? Are you praying before love? Are you praying before loving or posting before listening? We live in a solution activation frequency. Fast from the algorithm. Fast from the algorithm. Turn it off. Let your spirit speak. Clean your temple before inviting another soul to live in it. And when I say this, I'm not only saying this to you, I'm also saying this to me. And that's the mirror effect. And that's the mirror. We have to become the best versions of ourselves and work on ourselves, not to impress anyone else, not to please anyone else. But it begins with healing. It begins with being the best version of you. It begins with healing mentally. It begins with healing physically. It begins with healing spiritually. And there's different forms of healing. Man, heal thyself. Woman, heal thyself. Whatever direction you feel you need to take to heal, take it. Whether that's therapy, whether that's consciousness, whether that's wokeness, whether that's church, whatever direction you decide to approach to becoming the best version of yourself, it's imperative that you do that first for yourself. Because when you heal thyself, when you work on being the best version of you, it will attract the right people to you. But at the same time it attracts the right people to you, everything has a balance. So you cannot become discouraged. You cannot become upset when things are going perfect and they take a different turn. That's just balance. The yin and the yang. Everything has a balance. Night and day, up and down, right and left. Everything has a balance. And when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That teacher may show itself in many faces, in many places, but when you're ready, it will appear. And if you don't learn, you repeat. There's a lesson in what we go through in life, whether good or bad. Let's be real. Let's switch the segment real quick. Let's talk about the shadow of the black man. Brotherhood or battlefield. Let's be real. Black men are not just struggling to love women. We're struggling to love each other. We can't talk about sacred unions if we secretly hate the reflection of ourselves in other men. We inherited a fractured masculinity, born in the plantation, bred in survival. Back then, softness meant death. Now, we confuse power with pain. We call ego strength and silence manhood. Let me repeat that. We inherited a fractured masculinity, born in the plantation, bred in survival. Back then, softness meant death. Now, we confuse power with pain. We call ego strength and silence manhood. But brotherhood is spiritual, and we are bleeding in silence. Brothers quoting divine masculinity, but moving like devils in disguise. We'll repost your wins online and low-key prey on your downfall in private. Let me repeat that. We'll repost your wins online and low-key prey on your downfall in private. This isn't masculinity. That is mutilation. When was the last time you told another black man, I love you, bro. I love you, bruh, and meant it? Do you feel safe being emotionally vulnerable with other men? Here's some solution activation, but it's up to you. Create sacred circles. Invite brothers in. No ego, no posturing, just healing. But at the same time you're doing that, it's imperative to have discernment. You got to have discernment in any potential communication you may have with another person. And I say that because you could tell sometimes, even on the phone, when speaking to somebody, that they don't stand on their word, or they're a bullshitter, right? In simplest terms, don't force any interaction, don't force any communication. Like, I could speak for myself, right? Um, at my age, I'm pushing 40. I'm in my late 30s. I don't force any interaction with anybody. I mostly go with the flow, right? And if I do happen to give myself or give a person energy, I mostly do that with women because women are more intelligent. The women that I speak to, I can't speak for all women. You know what I'm saying? Luckily for me, the women that I come across and the women that I encounter and speak and communicate with are intelligent women. And I'm grateful and thankful for the intelligent women that I am able to speak to that also critical thinkers, right? So I tend to speak more to women and have deep conversations with women, right? Not to say that there isn't brothers out here that are deep. It's just that's what my energy vibrates to. Relating and speaking to sisters, you got to go with what works with you when you're in the process of healing mentally, physically, and spiritually. And on top of that, for my type of personality, I'm a loner. And often, sometimes we make decisions today by the past experiences that we experienced. So for me, I can honestly say that I'm more comfortable speaking to a woman, a mature woman, a conscious woman, or a spiritual woman, or a religious woman, a black woman, any woman, to be honest with you, and sparking that conversation. There are men out there I could probably have conversations with, but I don't come across them like that, right? I come across more women where we can speak about relationships, marriage, mental health, spiritual health, physical health, and things of that nature. And I honestly, thinking about it, I prefer it like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's switch the topic since we talking about sisters. Let's talk about the feminine misunderstood womb, softness, and sovereignty. Let's flip the mirror real quick because in this hypermasculine society, we have deeply misunderstood the divine feminine, especially black men. We have deeply misunderstood the divine feminine. Black women have forced, black women have been forced to survive. Let me repeat that. Black women have been forced to survive, told to be strong, not sovereign, to lead, not be led, to raise children while healing alone, to protect while being unprotected. And now, softness is feared, trust feels like a trap, and their wombs, sacred gateways of life, become battlegrounds of unhealed trauma. But hear me now, black queens. Your softness is your superpower. Your receptivity is revolutionary. And your womb is a portal to the divine. These two topics are very close to each other. The topic of the shadow of the black man, brotherhood or battlefield, and the feminine misunderstood womb, softness, and sovereignty. Both of them coexist. And if both parties can work on being the best versions of themselves in private and with each other, I think healing can begin. And I say that because I went to the store the other day. As a brother, I grew up with a lot of black women in my life. I spent most of my years with my mother, with my grandmother, living with them. Luckily, I was fortunate to have a father that was there for me, that was a very masculine man. He himself, who was raised by his mother, and he had 10 brothers and sisters. His father left him, I believe, when he was 10 or 12 years old. And as I got older, I can see the effects of his father leaving. I can see the effects of his mother transitioning. I can see that he had a lot of time around his mother because my father cooks, he cleans, and he does everything for himself, right? So it's interesting how your upbringing reflects who the person you may become later in life, while also going through experiences in life that are also icings of the cake that reflect and project who you become later, right? So I went to the store the other day. I went to go buy me some clothes for an event that I'm going to this weekend. And I pick up energy. And the energy that I picked up, I was with my beautiful wife, and she was helping me look for some clothes or whatever for the event that we're going to this weekend. And I felt and I noticed three black men. Well, it was three of them, but the third black man was more. His energy was more um, calm, right? His energy wasn't coming off as insecurity or threatening, right? Or negative. But the two other brothers that he was with, the one brother he was with was a very big and large man, right? He looked like Biggie, right? Big fat black dude. Looked like he played football, but big black fat brother, right? And I could tell that he was projecting his insecurities for whatever reason. For one, what I noticed is his voice sounded rather feminine. He had no bass in his voice, right? He had no bass in his voice. It's sad that even when men hear another man's voice, who may have a deeper voice than them, they may feel insecure or uncomfortable. And the other brother that he was with was a light-skinned brother, DJ Envy type of light skin, right? And he was with his beautiful daughter. But I could feel that energy. And the first thought that went through my mind is this: Though people may project their insecurities, is it just a mirror of my reflection, right? It's a mirror. So the first thing I thought to myself, is there is there an energy that I'm projecting that's making these two men react and move the way they're reacting, right? So there's a lesson in that. You don't just look at the person, you have to look at yourself and say to yourself, am I as a person projecting some form of energy that's making this person react and project what they're projecting? Some may say it's that, some may say it's not, but it was a thought that went through my mind. I don't think that's I don't believe that's the result every single time. Because a lot of niggas is bitches. A lot of niggas is insecure. A lot of niggas is mentally weak, spiritually weak, and they think their physical is the begin and end all. You dig? And so those thoughts went through my mind. Is it something that I'm projecting as far as my face? I'm not here to smile at you, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't finna be smiling at you or whatever. I'm not responsible for what you see in my face, whether my face looks polite or friendly or whatever. That's not my concern, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not responsible for what you see and what you feel. That's something that you need to work on. Because at that very moment, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know these niggas. Salute and respect to these niggas, but I don't know these niggas. I'm here with my beautiful black queen. As long as she's happy, I'm happy. I'm happy, she's happy. You dig? I'm gonna be happy regardless. I'm even happier when she's happy. You know what I mean? And she's gonna be happy regardless. You know what I mean? So as I'm there with my beautiful queen, making her laugh, we joking, whatever. I can see through a reflection through the glass or whatever. Niggas is looking or whatever. People will see you and hate you. People don't even gotta know you to hate you, to dislike you for whatever reason. Don't feel no way about that. That's their insecurity. Those insecurities have nothing to do with you. You dig? So I ask y'all this question right here. What armors have you worn just to feel safe in this world? What would it feel like to finally excel? Here's a solution activation. Begin the daily ritual of sacred softness for yourself, whether man or woman, and speak this, queens. My womb is not a war zone. It is a throne. I am safe in my softness. Let's switch segments real quick and let's talk about self-hate. Let's go deeper. Why are black men still killing black men? This ain't just a crime. It's not just anger. It's ancestral pain. Wearing a hoodie of poverty, we are looking at each other and seeing enemies, not reflections. Let me repeat that. A lot of us, whether we're in the store, walking in the street, even in the car, I've noticed this many times. Even when you're driving a nicer car than somebody, or even when another brother's driving a nicer car than you, when another brother's driving a nicer car than you, there's a look in their face and their energy as if they're getting more money than you and they're better than you, not realizing that you could drive a Rolls Royce and be broke, and the person that has a Honda Accord has hundreds of thousands of dollars in investments or in their savings. Never think what you have is a reflection or a projection of the income you may have as investments or in your savings. Unfortunately, a lot of men, a lot of brothers may not understand that, may not see that, and may not think like that. I give you an example. I saw a video on the internet of Bill Gates in 42nd Street in Manhattan. He did not have no name brand clothes on. He looked like a regular Joe Schmo, but he's worth billions of dollars. He has billions of dollars, and you couldn't even tell. You couldn't tell by the clothes he was wearing. His energy and frequency, his energy and frequency did not radiate a person who was a billionaire. So don't feel no type of way, and don't think material things and things that you have define you. Niggas will define and try to define you by what you wear and by what you have. But those things don't build character, and those things don't define you. Those things don't go with you when you dead. They don't mean anything. That's just the thought. So I'm driving. There's been many times, if you're driving a nicer car than somebody, you can see the look of hate, resentment, envy in somebody's face. Or if somebody's driving a nicer car than you can see the look of cockiness, the look of disgust they may give you, as if they're better than you, or they think they have more money than you. Or if you driving a nice car and they driving a nice car, there's still some form of level of competition, because now they're looking at yours, they're looking at theirs, and they're doing a comparison. Now, I'm not saying this happens every time, but like I said earlier, sometimes niggas will repost you showing love and like, oh, I fucks with this nigga. But deep down in their heart, they praying for your downfall. You dig? Even the compliment sometimes from niggas is not all the way genuine. Oh, you look good, or your car nice, this, that, and third. But deep down in their heart, they envy you. They want to do better than you, right? They don't want you to be past them. I've witnessed this with niggas. I've witnessed this with siblings. And I can't help but notice that mentality, that culture comes from your oppressor. It comes from them. That's Greco-Roman culture. That's that Greco-Roman culture that we've adapted as people. Everybody got to eat. Not everybody needs to starve. Everybody got to eat. Everybody could win. There's enough for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But let's go deeper. Like I said a couple minutes ago, why are black men still killing black men? Like I said, this is not a crime. It's not just anger. It's ancestral pain. Wearing a hoodie of poverty, we are looking at each other and seeing enemies, not reflections. You can't love your brother when you're secretly hating your own skin. You can't love your brother when you secretly hate your skin. You can't protect your woman when your soul is still enslaved. This is what happens when the divine beings grow up with no food, no fathers, and no faith. Let me repeat that. This is what happens when divine beings grow up with no food, no fathers, and no faith, no principles. Scarcity makes love look like weakness. Poverty makes peace look like submission, and self-hate, that becomes a loaded gun. Where do you still carry plantations trauma in your thoughts? Let me repeat that. Where do you still carry plantation trauma in your thoughts? Are you projecting your pain onto people who look like you? Here's some solutions. Feed your spirit before your stomach. Starved souls hurt each other. Turn jealousy, turn envy, turn hate into collaboration. Turn pain into poetry. Turn rage into ritual. Because sacred masculinity doesn't benefit anybody. We need to go back to the divine order. So now what? Or so what now? What does real masculinity look like in the age of revelation? It's not control. It's not clout. It's consciousness. Divine masculinity protects, not possesses. It provides, not performs. It aligns, not manipulates. And brothers, the house can't stand if the foundation is fractured. Let me repeat that. My brothers, black men, the house cannot stand if the foundation is fractured. We are the foundation, and we got to be rooted in law, in discipline, in love, not lust, not labels, not loudness, but law. Is your masculinity rooted in fear or in the divine? Are you leading your house or just running from your past? Create sacred routines, meditate, prayer, journaling, fasting, solitude, and more than anything, protect black women. Protect black women spiritually, mentally, physically. She is the throne, and you are the gate. I want you to close your eyes, everybody. Close your eyes. Place one hand over your heart, the other over your womb or your root, and whisper to yourself, especially for my sisters, I am a temple. I am not a battlefield. I release the wars I inherited. I forgive the shadows I carried. I reclaim the sacred within me. I remember who I am. Now breathe deeply and return home to yourself. This was episode 10, Sacred Unions and Shadow Wars. Thank you for walking through the temple with me. Share this with somebody ready to break generational contracts and build divine unions. Until next time, stay conscious, stay sacred, stay grounded, and never stop reflecting. Never stop being the best version of you. It begins with you. Man, heal thyself. Woman, heal thyself. Keep working on you. Stay sucker free. Keep your eyes open, ears listening. It's important. It's imperative. Because once you start to heal within, it will reflect out. It will reflect outwardly when you start to heal. When you start to work on yourself, mentally, spiritually, physically. Get some spiritual baths. Do some spiritual baths. Do some physical workouts. Get yourself sweaty. Find somewhere where you can sit in solitude and let your brain computer collect all the data it needs to collect. It's imperative. It's important. And like I said, I'm not just speaking to y'all. I'm speaking to myself. And that's the mirror. That's the mirror effect. Episode 10. I'ma holler at y'all. I'ma talk to y'all real soon. Peace to the God and peace to you and yours. I'm supposed to feel myself, no doubt, no shame. Embracing my greatness, owning my name. They say stay humble, but I can't contain the fire that's inside of me. Drives me insane. I've been grinding for years, putting in the work. Now it's time to shine, live without a smirk. I'm supposed to feel myself, get to part of the game. Claiming my throne, nigga, never feeling tame. I overcame the struggles, battled through the pain. Now I'm on top, they can't deny the flame. I'm in my zone, nigga, I'm an unstoppable force. On the rise, staying on the course. I'm out of sight, out of mind, I'm on my grind, yeah. If a nigga play, then he gon' meet his demise. Staying out of sight, out of mind with my nine. I'm destined to shine, I'm the king of my own castle, the ruler of my own fate. I'm living the life I always dreamed of. It is never too late, no, it's never too late, no, nigga. Well, that's all your niggas get, nigga, it's a freestyle. Spring Valley, fuck.